Terrell, and I'm back here again with another review for a new animated movie by the name of Inu-oh, the new Japanese film by Yuasa Masaki. You're probably familiar with his work was Mind Games and The Night is Short, which you can find currently on HBO. If you hear that director's name, then you already know you're in for some weirdness when it comes to his style of animation. And this is my first time with this movie seeing a full feature of his. Because it was his other stuff has been a little weird, but this one came out across pretty good. Um, so Inu-oh is a Japanese animated movie, and this is basically this is like a long visual novel music video here. It's like a 2 hour music video. If I had to explain it, it's still not like paced like a music video, like song all the way, but almost like a musical. And it's described as a rock opera, and you could definitely see that in um, the way the music and the way it sounds. But the story here is, of course, it's about a 14th century superstar who dances and takes Japan by storm. And of course, there is like, people out there, the upper management, as you would say, or the shogun of Japan, is hating because he's not getting the attention, and he feels like that anyway the group is taking that away from him, and things have to be done to kind of rein that back in. But the story is definitely focused around the character Inu-oh and trying to think of his name here, which is Tomona. Tomona, who is the character who is the blind musician priest that Inu-oh winds up befriending. And they both have two different stories that kind of merge into one here. And this movie takes the time to give you a little bit of backstory on both of them. Kind of like the origins, the stories of like, your favorite band and how they met up and how they got together, which I thought was really really interesting. But like I said, when you first start watching this, it comes off like super weird, and like just visually, it's just you're seeing kind of spirits and demons, like so you kind of don't even know where this is going. I know when me walking into this, I didn't know what to expect. So until the movie kind of went on, and as it went on, it stopped getting. It became less weird as it was as the story started to unfold, and you figure out what's going on. So kind of at the beginning of this, you see that Inu-oh is cursed, and he has bodily afflictions that are caused by this ancient curse, and he still finds a way to live, and but through performance, even though he has a super 20 foot long arm, and his eyes and everything are not where they're supposed to be, but yeah, he still finds a reason to live. He still finds a reason to express himself through dance. And Tomoa, who winds up getting into an accident on sea, and becomes blind, he finds life within music, and wanting to express himself in different ways through music, and the two of them meeting up just became pretty much a chance meeting that wound up changing both of their lives. I really liked, like I said, I feel like every time I watch an animated movie, I'm like, oh, the visuals. No, the visuals were definitely kind of almost like they were hand painted to a certain extent, and they look kind of off the page a bit, a little bit weird. But if you see a lot of Masaki's other works, you'll see kind of like a lot of the same visuals, and just a lot of color, especially with this. Like I said, this is like a rock opera music video for almost like 90 minutes. And it's almost kind of like, if I had to describe it, um, kind of like watching like a Daft Punk video, if that makes sense. You're watching like a Daft Punk video where Daft Punk videos are normally like visual novels. This is what this is here. But of course, well, a lot of story and probably a bigger budget here because voice acting and everything's involved. Um, there's a lot of you see a lot of love through the story. You see a lot of revenge, hatred. You pretty much, you hit all your quadrants of storytelling through this rock opera, this music video that Inu-oh is giving us. And as I said, I really liked just like the leads, Inu-oh and Tomona, who, man, I mean, it's a lot of, I feel like it's a lot of passion, and there's a lot of depth within that story of, like, what's going on. And one of the characters who, Tomona, who's able to see spirits, we see, without giving too much away, kind of the reason why he's kind of hanging on to the past and the family that he had and stuff like that, as he moves on as a musician. He still tries to find himself and who he is, and what he wants to do. And this entire group, they're telling the stories of people of the past, and wanting the stories of people to continue on, and through their music, and go on and express express other people's stories that have long been dead. But of course, we got to have the shogun in every Japanese story that's always hating. They got to come in and shut down the show, because this is not what they want to do. They don't want people to take away the attention from them, and that's kind of the story here. Um, and like I said, they do a really good job of visually telling that. I mean, if this didn't have like story in between, and it was just like one long music video, I feel like it would have really did good too. And I also feel like, going to the movie theater to see this would 100% benefit, just seeing everything visually through Masaaki's work. Who, like I said, if you've seen his other movies, you already know what you're in for. Um, but it was a lot of scenes here where I feel like, oh man, watching this in the movie theater, on the big screen would definitely just pop. There's a lot of color in here. The music is incredible. I found myself singing along to a lot of the songs that were in, even though it's in Japanese. I the rhythm and the music really caught me, so found myself really like singing along to a lot of the songs, which were really good. And at times I almost felt like, the story too is really emotional, because there's a lot. Father son. It's the story of like a father son relationship in both of the characters, and kind of one father wants to pursue his dreams, and the other one wants them to kind of have their legacy live on, and through name. And like I said, Tomo is trying to figure out who he is, and should he forego his name and become who he wants to be, or you know do become who his parents named him, who his father wants to be, his father wanted him to be. And we see a lot of that in this story. It's like I said, it's a lot of like characters just being haunted by the past, and trying to just play their music and gain a crowd. There is a lot of times during this where I kind of it was kind of confusing for me, because I was like, okay, did we skip something? Or but you see the characters kind of progress in age too, because we see them as children, and then we see them kind of as the story goes on become adults. And they're, for me, maybe I missed it and I was paying attention, but there was a lot of times where like I turned around for a second and like, oh man, when did we do a time skip? But that's pretty early on, because the story does stick in their adult age. So we see a lot of that and their interactions with each other. But like I said, the story of this movie is really, really good. I 100% think that it is worth going to the movies for. The movie's about 90 minutes, hour 30 something, and it didn't feel like it to me. It was a real easy watch. I definitely enjoyed it. I didn't find myself looking at the clock. My eyes were visually stimulated the entire time. And the music, like I said, the music, if I can get the soundtrack of this, because I really feel like I'm humming it right now in my head as I'm doing this review. It is really, really good. The movie comes out on August the 12th. It's being released by G Kids, who has done like a lot of the Miyazaki films and stuff like that. They usually do distribution on that, but this being released by them. The movie came out in 2021 at the Venice International Film Festival, and apparently it did really good. So now they're picking it up, and we're going to release it again in 2022, because again, It's good. I do recommend going to the movies to see this. It's usually released, like I said, it's released by G Kids, but normally with these type of movies, like you usually get like animated movies, like especially in like North America, you probably get like a three time slot like a day thing. But I do recommend if you have the time to go see this. However you can see this movie, definitely take the time out of your day. It's 100% worth it. Masaaki Yuasa Masaaki does it again. You will not be disappointed. August 12th, go see this movie. I can't say more enough about how good it was. I know I'm anime guy here, and I don't give everything praise, but this was definitely worth the 90 minutes. After you get past the first 10 minutes of confusion, which was me personally, and then I got into the story and what was going on, and like I said, with the father son story, and identity, and finding yourself and a reason to live, is a lot compacted in this visual novel rock opera. I know it's trying to describe that, it even sounds weird to me, but visual novel rock opera, 100% willing, worth going to see. Comes out August 12th. Go check it out. Inu-oh, August 12th, released by G Kids. Go check it out. See you guys later.